Hello everyone. Today we'll see the classification of the human skeletal bones. There are 206 bones are present in the human body, which is classified into the two parts. First is the axial and second one is the appendicular. Axial consists of the 80 bones and appendicular consists of the 126 bones. Axial is the central axis and appendicular consists of the girdle and limb part. Now we'll see the axial part. In axial, there are total 80 bones, which is classified into four parts. First is the skull, second is the vertebral column, third is the sternum, and fourth is the ribs. Skull consists of the 29 bone, vertebral column consists of the 26 bone, sternum is single bone, and ribs are 12 in pairs. Now we'll see the skull. Skull again classified into four parts. First is the cranium, which is 18 number. Then there are facial bones, 14 facial bones. Then there are 6 ear ossicles bones and 1 in hyoid bone. Cranium, there are 8 cranium bones. First is the frontal, which is single in number. Then there are 2 parietal bones. Then 2 temporal bones, 1 ethmoid bone, 1 sphenoid bone, and 1 occipital bone. Now we'll see the facial bones, 14 facial bones, 2 nasal bone, 2 inferior tuberals, then 1 omer bone, 2 lacrimal bone, 2 zygomatic bone, 2 palatine bone, 2 maxillary bone, and 1 mandible bone. The next is the ear ossicles. 6 are ear ossicles. First is the steps, 2 steps, incus, 2 incus, and 2 malleus. There are short form MIS, MIS. In the human body, steps is the smallest bone. The next one is the hyoid, which is single. Next is the vertebral column. There are 26 vertebral column, which is also known as the backbone. First is the cervical, 7 cervical vertebral columns, then 12 thoracic vertebra, then 5 lumbar vertebra, then sacrum, which is in single number, and next is the coccyx, which is single, which is also known as the tailbone. Second is the appendicular bones. There are 126 appendicular bones, which consist of the girdle part and limb part. Girdle having 6 bones and limb having 120 bones. First is the girdle. First, in girdle there are 2 girdles, pectoral girdle and pelvic girdle. Pectoral girdle is upper part and pelvic girdle is a lower part, or it is known as the hip bone, which is the 2 in number. And in pectoral girdle there are clavicle and scapula. Clavicle are 2 in number and scapula is 2 in number. Clavicle also known as the collar bone and scapula is also known as the shoulder bone. Next is the limb. There are 2 limbs. First is the forelimbs, which is also known as the upper limb, and second one is the hind limb, which is known as the lower limb or legs. The first is the upper part, upper limb. There are 60 bones in the upper limbs. First is the humerus. There are 2 humerus. The next is the radius, which is 2 in number. Next is the ulna, which is 2 in number. Next is the carpal, 16 carpals. Then metacarpals, 10 metacarpals, and there are 20 phalanges are present. Next is the hind limb or legs bone. There are 60 bones present in the lower limb. First is the femur, which is 2 in number. Second is the patella, 2 patella bones. Then next is the 2 tibia bones. Next is the 2 fibula bone. Then there are 14 tarsal bones present and 10 metatarsal bone, and 28 phalanges are present in the lower limb. Okay, thank you.